I just glanced at my fly, and you might wonder why, and I'm going to tell you. I did this thing in San Francisco a couple months ago. A few of you know this story. And I keep having like post-traumatic stress disorder about it. What happened was I was talking to a group of high school students for about 45 minutes, and I don't want to brag, but I was on fire. They were laughing a lot, and they seemed to really like me, and I just felt a real great connection with the audience. It was going really well, and then I felt like this was going pretty well, and then that's why I had to glance at my fly. So then I said, are there any questions? And like 60 hands went up, which is like 58 more than have ever gone up in my entire career. And I was very pleased with myself. And I was like, boy, John Green, you sure do have them. And I called on someone, and they said, Mr. Green, are you aware that your fly is down? And I like turned around. I turned back around. That, by the way, when I was turning around was the worst 3 seconds of my life. And then I turned back around and I said, are there any other questions? Nothing. No, it worked out fine. I mean, you know. Oh God, it was horrible. So anyway, I'm still working my way through that. So the last meaning of paper towns is this. There's this weird phenomenon in cartography. When map makers make a map, they will often insert fake things, like a fake town or a fake street, or they'll intentionally transpose letters in the name of a street or something. And they do this so that if someone else makes a map with that same mistake, they will know that those people plagiarized them, right? Because you can't have, if you have a fake town on your map that's identical to the fake town on my map, I know that you stole my map. This was very popular in the days of paper maps, but Google Maps still does it. And if you're a gigantic nerd and you have Google Earth, you will sometimes see little alleys in cities where if you look at the satellite, there is clearly no alley, and they do that to, I would think, to protect their copyright. So anyway, in the 1930s, there was this company called General Drafting that made up one of these towns. They're called paper towns. Made up one of these towns called Agloe, New York. And it was right below the Catskills at the intersection of two dirt roads near a village called Roscoe. 30 years later, Rand McNally makes a map, and Agloe, New York is on the map. So General Drafting calls up Rand McNally and says, you plagiarized, we can prove it, you are so in trouble, you're doomed, we're gonna take all your money. And Rand McNally says, no, dude, Agloe, I don't know if they said dude, no, Agloe is real. In the intervening 30 years, people went to that intersection of two dirt roads so much looking for a place that finally someone built one. And they made it real. And that to me is the power of story and the power of text, is that when we can put new things on our map, we can imagine things into our maps, and we can make them real in time. And that's why I write books, and that's why I'm so grateful. It's also why I read books, and it's why I'm so grateful to have in the Nerdfighter community and outside of it as well, so many readers who read that way, who read to populate their maps with worlds that might be more interesting and more beautiful than the world that they live in today. So now I will take your questions. Well, there's like almost like 60 hands. No, just 2. Yes, in the back, and you have to scream. Hello.
Have you ever been to Agloe, New York?
Have I ever been to Agloe, New York? Yeah, well, I mean, I should add that as beautiful as that story is, the postscript is that it doesn't exist anymore. So thanks for ruining my story. Yeah, I have. I've been to the dirt roads where Agloe would be, but there is no, what's described in the book, the building that's described in the book sadly is not a historical fact. Although I hoped that if paper towns became popular enough, maybe they would rebuild Agloe again. Which I do think is possible. But yeah, I've been there. I wanted to go there to see what it looked like, but I had to insert a field of grass there for metaphor purposes. Yes? Wikiality? Yeah, there's this great Stephen Colbert word, wikiality, which is like the reality that we make because we can decide what's in Wikipedia and what isn't. Well, I think like that's a very good observation, but I actually kind of I believe that there's some value to wikiality in a way that Mr. Colbert, and I hate to disagree with him on anything, but in a way that I don't know that he does. I believe that if we're thoughtful about our wikiality, it can actually make a more interesting reality. A good example of this is that nerdfighters are obsessed with the town of Winner, South Dakota. Winner as in the opposite of loser, because Winner, South Dakota is equidistant between Hank and me, and it's also a pretty small town, so we feel like if we kind of pooled our resources, and we could like buy it, and then we like own it and everything. But then, like, at what level, like, is it kind of like fun, and at what level does it become kind of a cult? That's the question. You got to be careful because, like, it's awesome, and then all of a sudden you don't know what happened, and it's a cult. I don't think we will end up buying a town and moving there and erecting a large wall and not allowing people to leave. I think that's probably not going to work long term. But the original Wikipedia page for Winner, South Dakota was absolutely hilarious. Much funnier than the actual history of Winner, South Dakota. And it was all about how like the town was formed on the canned bean industry, and it was just brilliantly funny. So I kind of prefer that wikiality to the reality. Yes. Both of you. Not at the same time though. What's happening with the Paper Towns movie? Well, the producers of Juno, Mr. Mudd, and the studio that made Juno Mandate optioned the rights to Paper Towns with me writing the screenplay. I wrote the screenplay. That happened, and I don't know if they liked it yet. So if they did like it, then there's like a million things that have to go right for them to make a movie. And if they didn't like it, then problem solved. Yeah, so I hope they like it. I'll let you know, but it's going to be a long process if it ever does get made, because it's just a long process, and particularly because I don't know how to write screenplays, so that's a big hindrance. Yes. Is Bluefin a real drink? In Paper Towns, the kids drink Bluefin on this crazy all-night road trip they go on. No, I made it up. I don't know why I made it up. There are lots of real energy drinks that I could have used, but I think it's one of those wikiality things. Like, I felt like none of the energy drinks adequately captured what I wanted to say about energy drinks. Was there a question in the back? Yes?
Do you know Wikipedia ruins Paper Towns?
Do I know Wikipedia what?
It ruined Paper Towns for me. Like, do you know that the ending is kind of... Yeah.
Did I know that the ending of Paper Towns is kind of in Wikipedia? Yes. I did know that the ending of Paper Towns is kind of in Wikipedia. I wanted it to be, like, since I wrote it, you mean? Yeah, so they changed the Aglo New York page to more or less literally reflect the Aglo New York Wikipedia page that I made up in my novel, which is very meta. I don't even know what that means. It's so meta. Yes? I have a new book. Oh, yeah, I'm writing an internet-only book that's hidden behind a series of extremely complicated riddles. It's called This Is Not Tom. It's very difficult. It's also extremely hard to describe how you write a book inside of riddles on the internet, so I won't try. But if you want to try the riddles, you can go to thisisnottom.com and click on Dan's eye. That's how you start. Yes?